Is that Ben?
Tourists watching the alligators were horrified to discover that an adult alligator appeared to be under attack by something and was actually bitten to death right before their eyes. Seeing the alligator's gruesome death, the woman wasn't afraid at all. Instead, she wanted to take a close-up photo, but just as she pulled out her phone, something suddenly emerged from the water.
Damn it, man!
What the hell is wrong with you?
What was that?
The story begins with a vacation. Due to high work stress, Sistine worked 8-hour shifts every day. To unwind, she and her friend decided to take a trip. They arrived in New Orleans, a place famous for its wildlife. The area is full of wetland parks and swamps, and the most famous attraction is the alligators. It's said that the adult alligators here are 5 meters long and can easily swallow a person whole in one bite. After hearing a presentation from a guide named Rodrigo, they learned there was an alligator watching tour scheduled for the next day. Not only was it half price, but it also included round-trip transportation. But that wasn't the main attraction. The package included a tour to see adult alligators. When they heard this, Sistine and Hannah both thought it sounded great. They signed up for tomorrow's tour on the spot. But, eager to save money, they didn't realize that New Orleans swamps aren't just open to anyone. Early the next morning, Sistine and Hannah woke up. When they came downstairs, Rodrigo was standing at the hotel entrance, recruiting customers. Joining them were 4 other tourists, Tim and his 2 children, Sally and Mikey, as well as Dion, who worked in mutual funds. Seeing the cramped car, Dion felt uneasy.
I'm Dion, but you can call me Dee.
Nice heels.
Work hard, ladies.
Once he was sure everyone was on board, Rodrigo closed the trunk and started the car, heading toward the forest park. They chatted and laughed as they looked out the window, unaware that their desire for a bargain would lead to their doom. Rodrigo didn't drive into the forest park, but instead turned onto a small road on the edge of the park. When they reached a shallow stretch of water, Rodrigo parked the car there. They then boarded a small boat. Before setting off, Rodrigo explained some safety precautions. The area around the forest park had been cleared of adult alligators, so everyone needn't worry about being attacked by them. However, there were still some small alligators in the water, and under no circumstances should they put their arms in the water. Hearing Rodrigo's warnings, the group didn't pay much attention, thinking this was just an ordinary sightseeing trip. After passing through a narrow stretch of water, the small boat reached the outermost edge of the wetland park. Rodrigo opened his phone to check the location. According to the location data, there was a tracked adult crocodile in this area. Rodrigo took out the bait he had prepared in advance and tossed it into the water to lure the crocodile out. As he watched the water's surface, Rodrigo found it a bit odd. Usually, the crocodile would appear as soon as he tossed the bait, but today there was no reaction. Rodrigo assumed the crocodile was full, although he found it a bit strange. He didn't think much of it. Rodrigo started the boat, preparing to take everyone away, but just as they were about to turn back, Dion spotted a crocodile on the shore. Rodrigo recognized it as the one they'd come to see, but something about the crocodile on the shore seemed off. Seeing the crocodile on the shore, Dion wanted to take a photo, but Tim thought it was a bit dangerous. The crocodile had been killed and left on the shore, and there were creatures even more dangerous than crocodiles. But Dion wouldn't listen. She offered a $300 tip and insisted that Rodrigo row the boat closer. However, just as Dion was taking a photo, the small boat suddenly began to rock violently.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What was that?
Fortunately, everyone was wearing life jackets, so even those who couldn't swim wouldn't drown. Sistine and Hannah surfaced and climbed back into the boat, and in the process, they pulled Tim's family up as well. Just then, Rodrigo also surfaced. Just as Sistine was about to tell him to swim over, Rodrigo suddenly began struggling. Seeing the blood, everyone froze in shock. Just as they were at a loss, Rodrigo broke free. Everyone thought it was a crocodile, but Rodrigo didn't think so. Just as he was about to voice his theory, the boat was suddenly pushed against something. By the time everyone came to their senses, the boat was already wedged against a tree. That's when Sistine spotted the first aid kit. She climbed up a branch and pulled the kit out of the water. After bandaging Rodrigo's wounds, the group began trying to call for help, but they were too far off the beaten path, and there was no cell service. They waited for several hours, but no boats passed by. Just as everyone was at a loss, Rodrigo woke up. Although he was a little panicked, Rodrigo remained relatively calm. He explained that this stretch of water was on the very outskirts of the park, and that boats rarely came through here. For now, they had no choice but to wait where they were. Mikey wanted to know what had attacked him, but even Rodrigo wasn't entirely sure. However, he could tell it wasn't a crocodile. The group, already frightened, grew even more anxious. Rodrigo told everyone not to panic. If they didn't return before dark, the boss would definitely call the police. But there were still 5 hours until sunset. Just as everyone was chatting, a massive swarm of bubbles suddenly burst to the surface. Tim guessed that the monster in the water was approaching. Everyone scrambled onto the tree branches to take cover, but the creature in the water was incredibly powerful. It actually rammed straight into the tree trunk. Unlucky Sally accidentally fell into the water. To rescue Sally, Sistine jumped in. She dragged her back to the tree branch, but just as they climbed up, the monster rammed into the tree again. Hannah, who hadn't held on tight enough, fell back into the water. Tim grabbed a paddle nearby to try to rescue her, but the distance was too great, the paddle simply couldn't reach her. He had no choice but to risk jumping into the water. But as soon as Tim entered the water, an accident happened. Watching Tim disappear, everyone froze in shock. Hannah swam toward Dion's tree branch, trying to climb up, but just as she was about to make it, something in the water suddenly shot out. The sudden scene left everyone frozen in place. They looked at one another, unsure of what to do, and it was precisely this unexpected turn of events that allowed everyone to see exactly what was in the water. It turned out to be a hippopotamus of absurdly massive proportions.